Chekhov 27, and this is my trick-or-treat crew! We roam these streets once a year looking for candy and big booty bitches. This is why I wear this squirrel costume. For no woman can resist the sexual power of the mighty squirrel. Which is why I have tracked down every squirrel in America and consumed all of their genitals, making me one with the Squirrelverse! But before I begin this year's Halloween fuckfest, let's watch a video. Voodoo Vince is an Xbox original exclusive 3D platformer that got the old remastered treatment a few years back. Now, the original Xbox wasn't known so much for its 3D platformers, so this game eluded a lot of people. But not me! Video games can only keep me at bay for so long. Except for Bubsy 3D. He has a restraining order against me for reasons that do not need to be discussed in this video, so let's talk about Voodoo Vince. The story's pretty simple. There's a magic lady with a magic shop, some guy wants her zombie powder, whatever the fuck that is, and steals it. But, while stealing it, they let a bunch of it loose on the town, causing all sorts of crazy shit to happen, like bringing a voodoo doll to life and raising the fucking dead. Sorry, did I say the story was simple? I meant it was fucking weird. Long story short, the magic lady gets kidnapped, now go fucking save her. You play as Vince, a voodoo doll who does not give a flying fuck. You of course realize this when Vince needs some gas, and rather than asking the fuel pump for some, he blows him up, then runs him over with a fucking steamroller.
I rule!
I'm sorry? Speak up, I can't hear you.
Can't do that shit in Mario. This game takes place in a wonderfully stylized Louisiana. The design of each level is really cool. You have a small section of a city, the bayou, a graveyard, you know, places you're generally not supposed to masturbate in. At least that's what the police told me. But you might just have to jerk off to some of these fucking amazing designs. Not just for the world, but also for some of these characters. Especially Crawdad Jimmy.
Sure, I can help you. But Crawdad Jimmy don't do nothing for free.
My god, I just want to smother that big, beautiful ass in gumbo and lick it off. But enough about my sexual fantasies. Let's talk about the controls. And let me tell you, these controls are tighter than Crawdad Jimmy's ass. You got your basic attacks, your double jump, and you can hover. The controls are good enough to the point that every death is usually your fault. I say usually because latching onto these vines felt a little fucky sometimes, especially in the ship level where you pull a lever which opens a window and then the game tells you to swing all the way around the ship to get to the window. But if you're a gaming master like me, you can just jump up here and tell the game to go fuck itself. This of course leads to a section where you beat up a sentient crying onion because this game knows exactly what I like. All in all, the platforming here is pretty solid, though it definitely felt a little too easy. And while it is solid, it's not necessarily anything to write home about. And I definitely would not write home about the basic combat either. You got your punches, a ground pound, and a spinning attack that I've never seen in a video game before. And it's fine, there's just nothing groundbreaking here. The only interesting thing about fighting normal enemies are these special voodoo powers that you can collect. You see, enemies drop these orbs when they die, and when you gather enough of them, Vince can perform a random voodoo power. This results in Vince hurting himself in some creative way, which transfers its effects to the enemies around him. These animations are pretty sweet, and it's obvious a lot of time went into them. It's really fun to find a new voodoo relic and go test out the new voodoo power. But again, the basic combat is really nothing special. Which leads into the boss fights, which aren't really the same as basic combat. In fact, most of the boss fights act as puzzles or challenges, though none of them are very difficult. They all involve Vince hurting himself in some way to inflict that pain on the boss. Now, I think that this is a fantastic idea that's brought to form pretty well here. But again, nothing here is really difficult, and the puzzles themselves aren't amazingly groundbreaking. Though it is a cool concept, I just wish it was used more often in fighting normal enemies. Perhaps a mechanic in which Vince can't punch or kick, rather you have to figure out ways to harm yourself to defeat normal enemies. Not to say what we have here is bad, I just wish it could have been expanded upon. The last thing in regards to the gameplay I want to talk about are these vehicle sections, which are actually pretty fun. They control really well and don't overstay their welcome at all. I particularly like this flying section a lot because it felt like the most challenging of the vehicle sections. That doesn't make it challenging though. In fact, I think my major gripe with this game as a whole is a lack of challenge. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, Chekhov, it sounds like you don't even like this game. A game that I like a lot. How dare you, you worthless fuckwaffle? And to that I say, don't fuck with me. I have an army of sexually diverse animals just waiting for someone to fuck with me. So unless you want a troop of gay gorillas playing tennis with your testicles, you're gonna shut the fuck up and respect my fucking opinion! And second of all, I do like the game. While its gameplay isn't too inventive or challenging, it isn't the main strength of this game at all. The strength lies entirely in its design and themes. These levels are amazing and are just so much fun to explore. They have fun, if easy, puzzles and a lot of collectibles to grab. The visuals are also really nice, especially in this remaster. I mean, Vince just looks amazing. And there's just so much passion in this game. You can tell the developers had a fantastic time making it, especially with how fun the credits are. But then, there is the best part of this game. The motherfucking soundtrack. Holy fuck is the music good. Oh my god. Just makes you want to cover yourself in gumbo and get fucked by a crocodile. All of this comes together to give this game an amazing overarching theme that's just dripping with charm, oozing passion, and leaking a familiar tasting liquid. Seahorse cum. You see, that's how you know it's quality. They did not skimp. They got the good shit. Fucking top shelf cum right there. The last thing I want to say real quick is that the humor in this game was hit or miss for me. One minute you're putting cute little animals on a conveyor belt and turning them into sausage. Now you see, this I like. What I don't like is when Vince does this.
Can't imagine anything windier than you.
The idea is that Vince doesn't seem to give much of a shit. He's completely self-aware and even breaks the fourth wall occasionally. It's fine, but not incredible. Again, hit or miss. But other than that, I don't have any real problems with the game. It just doesn't have incredibly inventive gameplay and isn't all that challenging. However, the music, the environments, and the passion in this game really make it worth your time. I think it definitely appeals more to children. In fact, I think any child would absolutely adore this game. Not to say that there's no value for adults here, as I had a lot of fun with it. It just doesn't do anything for me in terms of challenge or ingenuity. If anything, I would absolutely love to see these concepts expanded upon in a sequel. But until then, I'm giving this game a 3 out of 5. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to have incredibly loud squirrel sex with your mom, and maybe your dad. You know what? Screw it! I'ma fuck your uncle too! Happy Halloween, bitch!